Hello, everyone. It's Monday, January the 7th, 2019. Today's going to be an interesting, not interesting necessarily, but it's going to be different. I would like today to give an open letter to President Trump. And with your patience, I hope you'll let me do it. I'm not being presumptuous. I do not believe for 1 second that he would jump and read what or hear what we have to say. But I sure wish I could get this message to him. Dear President Trump, first off, let me say congratulations from me and from a goodly portion of your supporters out here in America. We elected you to do a job. We've tried to do the same thing in years past. We've elected one after another after another. And it's funny, in every campaign we're told what we want to hear, of course, but then when they are elected, nothing happens. You, sir, have broken that mold. And unfortunately, you're paying for it. And let me tell you what I wish you would think about strictly as volunteering some information that we're not smart enough, obviously, to be able to tell you what to do. But here are kind of my New Year's wish list. First off, President Trump, you stated specific things that you would do during the campaign. Of course, get troops out of the Middle East, out of Syria, cut taxes, straighten up NAFTA, get rid of NAFTA, and then do something that's better for America than that disaster. And then you had one other, build a wall. Mr. President, build that wall. I know there are people in the federal government that are laid off as of now, and the hardship on them is going to be tough. I know that. If it were me, it'd be tough for me. But hey, I'm so used to living off nothing. Maybe I'm not as scared of it as somebody that has a fruitful job normally. But I know it's going to be tough on them. But there's no other way to bring this matter to the fore and get it done. If you take any kind of capitulation, if you take any kind of trade, what's going to happen is they're going to dance and stall and stall and dance and dance. And they're waiting on one thing, the Robert Mueller report. And I don't think I need to tell you and Mr. Giuliani how that thing's going to come out. But you must stay the course, and you need to know, as far as all the people that I'm in contact with, which is a goodly amount of folks, we are 110% behind you. Build the wall. Hold the Washington at bay until they do it. Remember, you were hired. We hired you under those promises. And the biggest or most important at the time now is building the wall. We hired you to do that. What I would ask in your State of the Union address, if it would be apropos, I would say, you know, Democrats and all you ne'er-do-wells that are Republicans but seem to want to fight and resist the wall. Let me ask you this. Democrats, did you get elected this last term for one thing? To beat me, to stop me, to impeach me? Is that what you got elected to do? Is that it? Is that what those people hired their representative to do? Or did they hire their representatives who may have that added addition to their list of things they want to accomplish, that I'm sure they never meant for people to think that's the only thing they're going to Washington to do? You know, I think they were wanting to look and do stuff on many issues, many different fronts. You know, help the people of this country, help America. Remember, help the working class, rob from the rich and give to the poor, remember? But it sure doesn't look like that. It looks like now that all they were elected to do, some of them, was 100% from the second they got in until it was over, which was to get rid of you. To hell with the business of America. And as a matter of fact, when you think about pressure on the wall and the government being shut down, look what they're doing. They're prioritizing getting you above the needs in a broad manner of directions. They've just done away with all of that just to get to you. So I would ask in the State of the Union, if it were me, and you're not me, I would say, to the United States of America and to you, these members of Congress here today, I was hired to do a job to which I intend fully to do. And in that is build the wall. Not to dance, not to do all manner of other things, not to lie, cheat, steal, make it look like we might, but we really won't. None of that. I'm here to build a wall. And Democrats, those of you that are so vehement and adamant about getting rid of me, is that what you're here for? Is that the only thing you're here for, to get rid of me? Let's get it out in the open. Is that it? And if that's it, who asked you to do just that? And then we have the media. Oh, God love that mainstream media. Relentless, as I've heard it said, about the attacks on you and your family day in and day out. I would ask the media, wait a minute, since when have y'all become such an advocacy group for one thing or another? Since when has it become their mission? And I'm talking about the majority of the mainstream. When did it become their mission to get rid of Trump? And I would ask again, if it is your only mission, if that's your mission one, above all else, above all the things in this world that are scary and could harm Americans here and abroad, if that's all your job is, who hired you to do that? Who? And maybe there should be a meeting at the top, me, President Trump, if I were him, and the people that are doing the hiring to get rid of him, and ask fundamentally why. I'll tell you why. You know it as well as I do, President Trump. They want to get rid of you because they want everything the way they want it, that they've had for years and years and years. And they are in the last stretch of the last leg of breaking this government down and moving us 100% into a socialist form of government. Some of us in America do not want that. And those in America that do not want that voted for you, Mr. President. Help us. We're going to help you. We're going to give you everything we can, everything we have. We're going to give it to you so that you can do exactly what you asked us to hire you to do. And I guess if we're here to fight one thing, I'll tell you what that is. We're here to fight the progressives from transforming our country into another country that we don't even know. Mr. President, this is all about you, Bubba. It's you. I wish there were more others could do. As a matter of fact, if there is a lot others can do in Washington, in our government, the problem is we don't have any Republicans there to do it. In all of the Senate, you know this, sir, in all of the Senate, we may have 4 or 5 senators truly committed, and this is so sad, truly committed to the health, welfare, and prosperity and safety of the American people. 4 or 5. The rest either go with the wind or they're Mitt Romneys who are just absolutely vehement enemies of yours, just wearing red uniforms, supposedly the color you have. So I ask again, Mr. President, will you stand up before the State of the Union and will you tell that entire Congress, that joint body of Congress that you're talking to, will you tell them, please, on behalf of all of us, we hired you to do a job. These were the tasks you laid out in the campaign. Become hell or high water, you're going to get those things done that you campaigned on. and that you fully intend and expect that they will meet you at every turn with some new obstacle. Remember, they've got it now where they want it. We're at the last leg. They're ready to close the door on all of us. They're ready to shut this country down as a representative form of government, representative democracy form of government. They're ready to get rid of it. This is no joke. This is no game. This is the day. This is the time. This is the season. This is the season of war. The war to preserve our nation as it was meant to be. Now, they're claiming that they're waiting before they do impeachment. Now, see, think about it. They're not saying, we're just going to decide if it's impeachable. They're not waiting it that way. They're waiting to say this. We're just waiting until Mueller comes out with his report that'll give us something then to use to impeach you. Mr. President, Robert Mueller, I do not know him, but I had been around him for several years. I know what kind of person he is, and I know what he is there to do. You see, Mueller, as I see it, Mueller was recommended by who? James Comey. Obviously, Comey has been for a long time, maybe months, maybe years, since the day you became a possibility. I guess Comey and his fellow people at the FBI at the highest level, they were coming up with a plan just in case you might accidentally get elected, and oh my God, there you would be, a person strong-willed enough to do what he said and represent the people. They can't have that. They can't. So they bring Mueller in and they do this investigation. Isn't it noticeable to you, Mr. President, and your legal team, isn't it noticeable that they're sitting there working it out to where he's not going to unveil his big report until he gets a little bit closer to the election of 2019. And then when his report comes out and they've got you stepping on a crack, walking across the street, jaywalking, parking ticket, maybe even they'll allege you robbed the bank. Who knows what they'll come up with? They're going to come up with something. And we, your supporters, are ready. We know it's coming. We have no illusions. Trust me, we have no doubt in our minds that Robert Mueller is not going to come out with a report absolving you of everything since the day you were born until the day you haven't even reached yet, which is the day you die. No. He's coming to get you. So I would say this. Leave the report, the outcome, and public opinion, leave that to your people and us. We will do it if we have to do it word of mouth, hand to hand, one person at a time, telling each other the truth, getting the message out. But we'll be ready. We will be ready to help you, sir, as you will need. Now, there's one other little thing that they're going to do, and they've started this. It's called impeachment. You'll notice the day that they took office and were sworn in. Here it comes, articles of impeachment. Although everybody laughs and says, oh, those articles of impeachment are absurd. He couldn't be impeached over that. Well, if that's the case, fine. Except that's not what they're there for. Mr. President, when Daddy Bush was running against Bill Clinton, you will recall the campaign slogan is the economy, stupid. Well, actually, meaning the economy was real bad. The sky was falling. You got to get rid of Bush. You got to get Bill Clinton in, somebody to help save the economy. When the truth was, the economy was actually doing quite well. But when you're told over and over and over by the media, oh my God, look how bad the economy is. You start looking around and think, well, maybe it is bad. And they literally, in the mind, reality is as one perceives it, they literally were able to make people believe the economy was about to fall off a cliff. They're using the exact same strategy today on you with impeachment, the word impeachment. They're going to keep pouring it on, pouring it on, pouring it on. By 2020, the election, you know what? Hey, you will have already been impeached and, good heavens, hung out to dry, hung, whatever they want to claim. They will have done it over and over and over. And if we don't do our job, me and our people, the people out here that support you, there's going to be a lot of people that just buy into it and say, well, gosh, I guess he must be bad because they've impeached him. It's a dirty trick. I know. I used to do it. I used to do it when I was with the Clintons. I know how to destroy somebody. So, Mr. President, I'll close this letter by saying, once again, thank you for meeting a standard that we have not seen in a long time. Somebody that will do what he says. And you have my commitment, and my commitment on behalf of the people that I communicate with, and the people they communicate with. We will stay strong and behind you. Give them hell, President Trump. And above all else, build that wall. Now, towards our matter here, you and I, yesterday I begged for help. 1,000, 2,000 people heard it, saw it, whatever. 2 people said something. Maybe 3, but I think it was just 2. Folks, I can tell you today, based off what happened last night, that I can't tell you what that was, but something, the Democrats have made a move that gives us a chance to beat them. We do. Now we have a shot. It doesn't rely on me. It doesn't rely on just you. But it relies on all of us either working with us and what we're trying to do with our approach, or find somebody else that has an approach, aggressive, positive, going towards trying to stop this madness, support somebody, get the skin in the game. Folks, we have a cause. A cause. That's our cause. Our cause is simple, clear, clean, nothing but what it is. Save our country. Stop this coup. Stop the coup before it wins. That's our cause. But if I don't get help today, there ain't going to be no cause to help. It's just not. And I'm terrible about having to ask you for money in this way. I consider it begging. But by God, if I've got to beg, I'll do it. Not for me. I'll do it if that's what it takes for us to have that shot and take advantage of the opening they've given us, then I will do it. So I'm asking you listening to me right now, will you please help right now? Go to PayPal, Nichols Live at AOL.com. That is Nichols Live at AOL.com. Help me. Help me do what I know's got to be done. Remember, by many in this country, it's been said all the time by Pastor Sanders and others that have programs, and it's known in Washington. And whether it's true or not, that's their problem. But I'm credited for having quite a lot to do with the impeachment of Bill Clinton, since most of the scandals that eventually brought him down and the scandals that eventually branded and labeled Hillary to where she was stopped, they lay that at my doorstep and say that I was a big part of all of that. Folks, I can tell you this, they're counting on Washington, the good guys in Washington, they're counting on, well, golly, if you knew how to get one impeached, do you know how to stop one from being impeached? And I do. I do now. But it's something that's just got to be steadily worked at. And then when it's time, I will share with you what you need to do. And by the way, if you think the calling like we did, all using the same script and the same words, if you think that's nuts, and everybody said, oh, that's silly, silly. Hey, President Trump's already acknowledged. He did it yesterday. Said he had never had so many tweets and people call it build that wall. When you hear build that wall, that's your slogan. That's your slogan. You put it out there, and President Trump picked up on it, and I'm proud of him for it. And whether he actually picked up on it because of us or not, I don't know. But it is kind of peculiar. It's the same exact words. Help me. Help this cause before there's no cause to help. But right now, you have no idea. It's got to be done today. I mean, we're on the margins here. It's either, and it doesn't matter if you've only got $1, send it. But some of you I know have $500, maybe $1,000. Get in the game. This is once in a lifetime that you or any of us have to ever be in a position to be a factor in the future, in the safety of this nation for us and our children and grandchildren. Nichols live at AOL.com. Just, you're on the website now. If there's other ways, if you're going to send a check, don't send a check. If you're going to send something in the mail, please send cash. If you want to send a check, you need to get hold of Mary Ellen, which you can do there on the site, and she'll tell you how to do it. With that, folks, I've run a little long. I'm sorry. But I've got this much to say that we did today and much more to come. Stay with us. Start now. You want to get in the game? Help me today. I need to see that thing start clicking. I need this, not just the dollar amount. I need to see the numbers of people that are willing to send something. I need to see that bell ring over and over and over and over. That helps motivate me, and it helps keep us building up what we've got to do to stop them. Without it, we cannot. So, with that, thank you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.